All right, y'all, another week has come and gone, and we are back in the garage working on the kayak camping trailer. I believe this is like episode 12 already. We are just blowing through this build. It's turning out amazing, but today we're gonna fabricate the fold-away table that I've been talking about. It's gonna go right up here, up under the awning, so when we're camping, we can open this awning out, fold a table down, and have plenty of room to cook and do dishes and stuff like that. Y'all stick around. All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my name's TJ. Welcome to Kayak USA. Today, like I just said, we're gonna be fabricating that fold-away table, but I'm gonna take the camera down real quick and show you a few things that I've added this week, kind of off camera again. I just wanna let you guys keep caught up with everything that I do, because I know a lot of you guys see stuff and you ask questions about it. So I added a few small things to the trailer this week on the carpet area for strapping stuff down. And as you can see, I've already mounted this box here. So if you watched last week's video, we installed the high boost cell phone booster kit up in the box next to the battery. And I talked in the video a little bit about what I've got coming up very soon. I've got some lights coming that we're gonna mount all over this trailer, and it's gonna be for camping and loading and stuff like that. And this box right here is gonna be where we have access to our power ports, our on and off switches and stuff like that. So I just stuck it up there today. I'll go over it in that video and show you how I built this thing, but it's just a little Pelican case that I mounted on the side. We're gonna be able to open this thing up. And if you've been following along, you know that this awning, it's a CVT awning. It's got a built-in LED strip, and so does my CVT rooftop tent. It's got lights in it as well. So what this is gonna allow us to do is when we open up this awning and we open our tent up, we'll be able to drop our cords down. They've got those little cigarette lighter 12-volt plugs. We'll be able to plug them straight up to this box, cut our lights on and off and stuff like that. So that's gonna be a fun video. I just gotta wait on the lights and stuff to get here. But I'll grab you guys off the tripod real quick and I'll show you these strap mounts that I installed. They're real flush mount. They're really cool. I think they're gonna work really good. And then we'll start cutting metal and fabricating this table. So y'all check this out. All right, so all I've done off camera, as you can see, I installed these flush mount tie-down straps. And the way these things work is you can flip this little switch up here on these straps and slide them out. So you got the straps separate that you hook stuff to, and it keeps it really flush. You can see they kind of sunk down in the carpet. And I put two on the back. Let me climb up here. I've got two kind of centered on the trailer, and then I put my whole strip across the front there. And using these style straps is really cool because if I want to haul, you know, anything flat, I don't have any, you know, hooks sticking up out of the bed of the trailer like this that's going to get in the way. Once we take these straps off, we throw them in our front box, and we still got the full trailer bed to use, you know, for hauling whatever we need to haul. So these are going to work out great. That's really all I've added off camera since last week. So now we're going to start setting up, start framing this out. I'm going to measure this area, get to cutting some steel, and make us a table. All right, to give you guys an idea of what I've got going on in my brain on how I'm gonna build this is I'm just gonna measure out. I want the table to be as big as possible. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna measure out the distance in between these two poles that we've got for our awning. And it's a telescopic awning, so it only comes down to about right here, which gives us roughly 18 inches. So 18 inches folded out off of here. Comes out pretty far, and it'll be a really good sized table, I believe, for us to cook on and stuff like that. So I picked up these heavy duty hinges. They're almost like door hinges. And let me see if I can show them to you. They're just black door hinges we picked up at Lowe's. I picked up 3 of them, and the plan is I'm gonna build this table out of the same mesh material as the trailer. So when it's folded up, it'll be just a black mesh wall. But when we get there, we can fold it down and have a mesh top table to cook on. It shouldn't rust or anything like that. We'll get it painted really good to match the trailer. But these hinges are gonna bolt to the side here. And in theory, we're just gonna be able to fold the table up. I'm gonna put some sort of lock system on the top to keep it locked up, and we'll be able to fold it down. And it should be easy. I hope it's easy. The hard part's just gonna be cutting the steel in the floor, because I don't have a weld table or nothing like that. And I'm gonna fabricate everything in the floor. Then we're gonna set the table up here, weld the hinges where they need to go, and hopefully by the end of this video, I'll open up this awning and we'll see how much room we got to cook on and stuff when we're camping. So let's get into the fabrication. All right, let me pause it right here and just let you guys know what happened. I was using the grinder without the guard on it. I had taken the guard off the other day to cut some bolts in half, and I failed to put it back on. And the metal actually pinched the disc as I was cutting the last side there of that pipe, and it blew up in my face. This could have been way worse than it actually is. I've got a nasty bruise on the inside of my leg, but like I said, it could have been my face or anything else like that. So I ended up using the bandsaw to cut the steel for the rest of this video, and I will most likely never use the grinder to cut metal in half again. So just be safe out there, guys, when you're working on your projects. I'm lucky. So let's get back to it. All right, good morning, guys. It is the next day. We're not finished with this thing yet, but we had some company show up last night. I'm not sure what all I was able to actually film for you guys, so this is a good stopping point for me to show you how I plan on latching it in the up position, how the hinges are working, and then after that, we're gonna take it off. I'm gonna get it ground down, painted, and then we'll get it permanently mounted on the trailer. But first, let me show you how it's turned out. I absolutely love this thing so far. The locking mechanism that I'm using, mechanism, is that a word? I'm gonna use to keep it up. It's pretty cool. It's gonna lock it in place really well when we're traveling, and then it folds down great. So let me show you where we're at, and then we'll move on to the grinding and the paint. Right, so first of all, before I show you the table, I want you to see, whenever I work on a project, and I'm usually very neat and very organized, and look at the mess I have made in my garage before I went to bed last night. I mean, it's all over the shop, but it was well worth it. We got the table mounted, and I'm gonna show you real quick. So I welded a nut, as you can see it in there if it'll focus. There's a nut in there, and I'm gonna end up with those rubber plugs, the square 1.5 inch plugs that cap these off. And what I'll do is I'll just drill a hole in one of them so that we can still have access to this nut. But the reason I put a nut in there is because I'm gonna use one of these guys right here. If I get the camera to focus on it, this is the Scotty slip disc, and it's for kayak accessories, but we're gonna use it to lock the table and the awning at the same time into position. And the way I'm gonna do it is, here's the one I'm using here out of the package. This is gonna go through our hole. Now, if you remember, this hole is what we lock the awning in position. I've got one on both poles, and so when we raise this awning up to the camping position or wherever we want it, we put a pin through those and it locks it in position. Well, now when we're traveling, I'll fold this table up, and that nut lines right up with the hole, and then we put this, I can't do it with one hand, but we'll put this little Scotty thing through here. It comes out the other side, and then it locks the table in the travel position. And it's solid too, and what it does is it actually locks our awning and our table together and makes it solid where it's not all rattling and stuff when we're driving down the road. But look how much space we're gonna have on this table. I'm loving the way it turned out. The hinges are working great. So when you fold it up, it's almost flush with the poles that hold the awning. Because of the hinges, they stick off just a little bit. It does stick back, I think maybe 1/4 inch, but it's nothing really noticeable. But there's no chains needed, because when we fold it down, it actually just sets flat because the way I got the square inch tubing, it sits right on the trailer rail. So we fold it down. We've got a massive camp table now. And I'm gonna plug all these holes. Like I said, I gotta order some more of those 1.5-inch caps, and I've got a bunch more that we have open, like right here behind the power box. I've gotta plug all these once they come in, but it's gonna really make this thing pop. This is gonna give us a huge advantage over camping when we don't have a picnic table. We won't have to lug our big plastic table with us anymore. And this is just perfectly, it's always gonna be up under our awning. So this morning we're gonna take this apart, we're gonna grind it down, get it cleaned up, get it painted, and get it fixed up on the trailer. All right, I've got the awning stretched out, as you can see. I've got the table folded down, and I put some stuff on here just so y'all could see how wide this thing actually is. It's got a ton, there's my hand on it. It's got a ton of space for us to cook meals, do whatever we need to do up under the awning. The little LED strip is perfect because it's gonna light up our cooking area when we're out here cooking at night. Right now, as you can see, I've just got it plugged into my jackery, but like I said at the beginning of the video, next week, hopefully next week, as long as everything gets here in time, it'll be next week's video. We're gonna be installing lights all the way around the trailer, and we're gonna be putting our cigarette lighter ports and USB ports so that we can just plug our lights from our tent and the awning straight into that box right there, and then we won't have to use the jackery on the backside. You know, we can save the jackery for stuff away from the trailer. But I love how this thing turned out. As you've seen just a minute ago, it folds up tight. It locks into place. It's not gonna rattle. You can't really even tell what this thing is when it's folded up until you get to when you're camping and you fold it down, and I love it, man. Look, this is how it looks from the backside. It turned out amazing. And I love that it's directly up under our awning. This thing is gonna get a lot of use. This is probably gonna be my favorite thing about this trailer build so far. I am loving this table setup, and as I'm building stuff each week, I've got new ideas that I have to kind of run over and write down on a pad on stuff that I want to add. Like I've got a diesel heater, I've got it in this week. I'm going to convert it and we're going to mount it on this trailer so that we can do some winter camping this winter and have heat in the tent. And I want to be able to do it, you know, the same way I'm doing all this other stuff on this trailer. I want it to be more custom and more, you know, not like something you see on YouTube or somewhere else. I want to make it my own, like this trailer. I'm trying to build this trailer completely from scratch of my own, and it's turning out great so far. If you're new here and you like what I'm doing so far, I've got a ton more videos coming, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Hit the bell, because I always upload every Thursday at 2 o'clock. You won't miss it. You'll get notified as long as you click that bell next week, and hopefully we'll be doing the wiring and the lights next week, as long as everything gets here in time. If not, we'll move on to maybe the heater install or something like that. But hopefully by next spring, this thing is going to be completely rigged out. It's going to be the coolest trailer in the world for us to go camping with, taking the bikes, kayaks, four-wheelers, whatever we want to take with us. And yeah, it's awesome. I guess that's going to do it for this video this week, guys. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. If you're still watching, I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and I'll catch you next Thursday at 2 o'clock. Peace.